Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm getting ready for the next Bassmaster Open, so that's number 3, and we're going to Bugs Island in Virginia, which is a brand new fishery that I've never seen. I really don't know anything about it, and I'm going to keep it that way because, this year I'm just going out there and just, fishing the moment, so to speak. And, but anyways, I'm getting tackle ready. Just ended up, rigging up, I'd say about 25 rods. It's a decent amount of rods, but not nearly as bad as it was for Toledo Bend. I think I rigged up probably 35 rods for Toledo Bend. We've actually got some space there in the locker. But still quite a few rods. Obviously, we're probably going to end up only using about a third of them. That's usually how it goes, but we've got some in there just in case we see something that we like. But anyways, guys, I wanted to show you kind of my process for getting ready for an event. Now, to me, I don't like doing as much research. I really don't. I want to come into a fishery that I don't know with a very open mind. Yeah, I mean, it's always nice to know some things, like if there's a specific bait that does really, really well. But usually I end up figuring that out during the event. And not only that, I want to fish my strengths. I want to focus on the things that I do very, very well. That's what I've been doing so far this year, and it's working out really well. So we're going to continue that. And last year I had the worst year I've ever had doing too much research. So it just, to me, that kind of solidifies the fact that I'm just going to stay in my lane, so to speak. But anyways, right now, as you can see, we've got the Phoenix 921 Elite outside. We don't need to do an oil change or any maintenance on the engine other than checking the oil. So we did that before the last event at, I think, about 15 hours. We wanted to do that first initial oil change, and we'll end up doing another gear lube change and oil change before the next event, which would be Wheeler, because we're going to be doing a lot of idling. But what I like to do is right now, because we're moving into the new house, we've got a lot of things. You've got a chop saw here, got doors, got all kinds of stuff that we've got to move into the house. And so normally I'd be able to keep my boat here and just unload everything into the other side of the garage. But what I like to do to prepare for every single event, if I have the time, which usually I have, 3 days I give myself to prepare for an event, is I like to take everything out of the boat. Pretty much everything. The only things that probably stay are the very, very back of the boat, some of the tools and things like that. But as far as tackle and gear, I take everything out and I end up putting it on a table like this and just start stripping, everything down, putting all the baits that I had pile up from the previous event. I put them back in the tackle boxes, make sure everything's back in its place, and just start going through everything like that. And then the next step after that is once I rig up all my rods. And these are just leftovers. These end up taking the baits off of them, putting those baits away, taking the reels off, and then putting the rods either back in the main storage, or they're going to go into the spare bundle that I'm going to bring with me to this event. And then we also have reels, big old box of reels, bunch of line, bunch of Seagar, and we're going to be going through all of our Elaztecs. This is a small little bit of it. In fact, I've got one final tray that I've got to take out of Elaztec baits, and then organize some of my other soft plastics, things like that. Just make sure that I go through all of those things, and the plastics that I bring for one event, like Toledo Bend, may not be what I want to use for the next event. So I want to make sure that I go through those bags of plastics and those dividers. You know, like this box right here, this tray goes into the center locker of the Phoenix. And although I've got like a lot of gold label and leader material, and it's also really good to help me spool up, all this stuff is coming out, and I'm putting, you know, different categories of Elastec baits in here. But yeah, I just want to make sure that I custom pack for the specific event coming up, trying to anticipate water clarity, water color that I see, you know, regional preferences in color, the different baits that I feel like I'm going to be throwing based on the cover that I'm seeing on, you know, Google Earth, that sort of deal. And then I end up taking all of these boxes. I have an A team that goes in the boat, okay? And then I've got a B team and a C team that go into this box right here. So, you know, tackle that I might need potentially, but don't want to have in the boat goes into that box, into that tote, and probably maybe even another tote. And then I've got a bunch of other totes. Like I've got, you know, some other bait totes. I got jackhammer box. I got, you know, Hayabusa hook box, spinnerbait box, jigs, all that kind of stuff. You know, like swim jig, I'm probably going to take that box with me because there's probably going to be a swim jig bite. But I want to make sure I've got everything on the road. And the big difference this time, which I'm pretty bummed about. So I've never not had to use the camper for an event since I had it. You know, there's been one event that I didn't use it because it was at Gunnersville, and it was just easier to room with a friend recently at the Toyota Series Championship. But for the most part, I love camping out of the truck camper. But unfortunately, we ended up forgetting to book a site early enough, you know, with the baby that came March 23rd, you know, it's just been a crazy year. So I forgot and I neglected and kind of pushed it off. And when I tried to get a campsite, there just was nothing for Bugs Island or Wheeler. So got to still figure out Wheeler, but I'm going to be staying at a bed and breakfast actually for Bugs Island. Me and my buddy Braden Rakes, we got this bed and breakfast. So we're going to be kind of like, I don't want to say high class, but we're going to be, it's going to be a pretty interesting little stay because I'm looking at the pictures of this bed and breakfast and it looks so good. I think it's called the, oh gosh, I'll get the name of the bed and breakfast because I'm going to be doing videos about it, you know, while I'm staying there. A nice Dutch couple there in Clarksville. And yeah, it's going to be a nice stay, but it's, you know, it is a little bit too nice for professional bass fishermen that are just essentially going to crash there at night. But it's going to be a super, super nice place to stay, and the hosts definitely seem like great people. So excited about it, but bummed that I'm not bringing my camper, because one of the best parts about having the camper is knowing that I've got a ton of extra Elastec baits. So whatever I need right here on the back. Okay, so that's how I organize all my spare stuff. And so now I got to figure out a system for bringing, you know, all the spare Elastec baits that I think I might need for this tournament. Because I hate it. I hate going to an event and not having what I need. So I've got to figure something out. And so that is one of the challenges. But it looks like a mess. It looks kind of like a disaster here, but really there's a lot of rhyme and reason to what I'm doing here. You know, I'm just really just trying to make sure that we start fresh every time with the boat, with the truck, everything, you know, get everything reorganized, because in one tournament, it's amazing how badly things can start, you know, getting snowballing in the disorganized direction. But yeah, just making sure we've got everything. And this is a key part of my tournament process, you know, just making sure that I've got everything dialed in and I'm organized. That to me is like one of the biggest things. But anyways, guys, just want to show you this maddening process. I call it a maddening process. I'm a little bit self-deprecating when it comes to my organization process, but honestly, it's kind of therapeutic. I love working on my tackle. So I'm going to get back to it. But anyways, guys, make sure you keep up with the event. So I'm getting to Bugs Island on Thursday, and then we start practice on Friday, which is a day early because the tournament is a day early. I think it starts on Wednesday the following week. And so you'll be able to keep up with all the action. I'll try to do a bunch of videos as far as, you know, throughout this whole entire process. And yeah, hopefully we're going to have another great event. I'm really looking forward to this one, especially since I don't know better. I'm going to go out there and just fish what looks good, and that's the best way to do it. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Trust the process as always, and I'm going to see you out on the water. Take care.